welcome back to episode 4 of Real Talk with Jess and Jen. We are going to talk about several things today. So, Jen, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that we want to talk about is actually planning for 2026, which is funny because I know we have a couple months left of the year in 2025, but it goes fast, doesn't
It
it? I feel
does.
like once you hit October with the holidays and it zooms by. So yeah, we wanted to share with everybody, I think some 2026 planning that we've done and get everybody as excited as we are looking into the next year. So we did get together. Was it only last week, Jess?
It was.
Oh my gosh, feels like a long
Yes.
time. Yeah, we got
Yep.
together with clinic directors, department leaders. Why don't you explain, Jess, kind of we
What we just did.
what we did? Yeah.
Um, yeah, so once a year, for those of you that don't know, once a year we do have a time that we get together. It's typically in October. Depends if it's the beginning of the month or the end of the month, but sometime in October we get together. And this year there were 100 of us throughout the organization that got together. And to your point, Jen, you had said it's department leaders, clinic directors, regionals, ourselves, C-suite, and we get together and really talk about the upcoming year, what went well this year, what do we have to work on. And to your point as well, just really making sure that we're making every attempt to have a very planful following year.
hmm
So we do that again once a year. And so
Yeah.
for us this year, it was last week.
And it was nice. Especially, this is our third time, our third year in the row, I think, doing something like this. And it's nice that as we continue to grow, that we still make sure that we're all on the same page. We
Yep.
are a lot of clinics with a lot of geography between some of them. And it's nice to kind of step back and celebrate locations that are doing really well, teammates that are doing really well, and just feel like we're all one.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, and it's always Jen, you and I, we do a lot of our work remotely, or then we have, if we don't, then we have to travel a lot and see everyone individually. And it's really nice to have everyone in one place where you
Mhm.
can have collaborative discussions. You feel like, I don't know about you, but I always feel like we get a lot more done.
Yes.
Because of that, because everyone's in one place, we can have those conversations um at one time. I think is
Yes.
very helpful.
Yes. Yes. And it's so awesome to just hear from all of your clinic directors like, oh, this RBT2 is now in school to become a BCBA. This BCBA is working on, a promotion to lead BCBA and just you hear it obviously throughout the week and throughout the days, but getting, like you said, all in one place, it's just yeah, it's a big deal. And I'm glad
Yeah,
that we were able to have that time. And so I know, it's hard for clinic directors to step away from their clinics and their lives back home, but we really appreciate the clinic directors coming out. We appreciate the clinics running okay for a few days while they were off site. And we're excited
yeah,
now, I think even more so, for what's to come for Caravel. So,
100%. Yep.
okay, so I think just to give a little rundown, what we wanted to do today, Jess, is just kind of like talk about the four big initiatives that we heard a lot last week to kind of there's a lot of work to do within them, and so some of them are just in the beginning stages and thinking about ideas and how to make it possible. But I thought that we could take a couple minutes and just let everybody know the exciting things that we have in store next year. So the first thing
Sure.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. It is something that we're actually going to have a special, should I say special surprise guest? Maybe let's not give it away.
Ooh. Okay. We'll wait.
Um,
We'll wait a little bit.
yes. A special surprise guest is going to hop on later, and they are going to kind of talk about treatment intensity. So for those of you that don't know, treatment intensity is essentially how many one-on-one hours a week our clients get. And it's a really big topic. A lot of variables obviously impact this number, but I think a big topic in the field,
Mhm.
definitely at Caravel, but in, ABA as a whole, at hitting that ideal treatment intensity number to really maximize the progress and make sure that our clients are, that we're fulfilling our promise and making sure that our clients are making the gains that we want for them. So, like I said, we'll talk more
Yeah.
about that um, towards the end of the episode here. But the other initiative that I was a part of discussing last week was just talking about BCBA Rise and how we're getting the word out there. And so, uh, really, I don't know. I should probably have looked this up first. Jess, do you know how many BCBA Rise participants we have? I know. Okay, well, maybe we'll.
100 and something,
I know,
100.
yeah.
I might be lying. I think it's 137, which is a
Okay,
really weird number to have in my head if it's not that.
yeah.
So
Let's go
I
with
feel
it.
like it is, but
Let's run with it.
okay. Yep, 137.
So
Yep.
137, but we want more. I mean, it's great. We're
Yes.
so excited that we hit the ground running with it and that we have so many teammates in school pursuing their BCBA, but we definitely want to get those numbers up. Ideally closer to 200, I think is the goal that we want to set as a company.
Yeah.
And so I think
Yep.
the discussion is how do we get there? How do we talk to all of our RBTs about all the great things that BCBA Rise encompasses, and how do we talk about the exciting journey to become a BCBA? And then also, how do we talk externally
Mhm.
about it? So, I know a lot of you have friends that would be really great RBTs, would be really great BCBAs, and like, how do we share the message so that you can bring it out, I think, into the world and talk just about all the great things that Caravel is offering through BCBA Rise. So, heard a lot of great ideas with it. Like I said, beginning stages, a lot of work to do on it. Um, but just know that it's going to
Yeah.
be a big focus in 2026 for us.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit last episode. So we had Dr. Jody on
Mhm.
as a guest last time, talking about BCBA Rise. So hopefully everyone understands what BCBA Rise is a little bit more. And so you can add to value to the conversation of like, what do we need to share more of, or what hesitancies do people have? How do you talk about it or think about it? I think the more voices in the discussion, the more benefit we'll get from that. So I think that we talked about it down last week, but it's definitely something that doesn't stop. We do need to have these conversations. We do need to continue to drive forward. And Jen, why would you think that we have a desire or a goal to have 200 people in the program?
Yeah. So,
People might be wondering that.
yeah. So I think, especially after looking at some of our growth plans for 2026 last week, we definitely need to ensure that we have enough, enough of teammates in every level, but certainly enough BCBAs, to lead those teams
Hmm.
and to lead those clients into progress. And so we are hiring, well, you have new regions, Jess, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, you,
Yeah. So, ooh, I don't think we announced this yet.
no.
So, our two newest regions are going to be one is Crossroads. That one is in Kansas City area. And then the other one is a split between right now there's Field of Dreams in Iowa. That region is going to split into two because of the growth plans as well. And so we call it East Iowa, also incorporates Peoria, Illinois. That one will stay Field of Dreams. And the other one is now called Golden Roses.
Awesome. And so
So,
just for reasons
mhm.
like that, right? We have two new regions coming
Yep.
up and really that are going to see a lot of growth in the next, year to 2 years as you form
Mhm.
and make those regions really solid. And that's not even mentioning all the de novos that we have going on, right? Honestly, a couple in every state. We got a couple in Illinois, we've
Yep.
got a couple in Minnesota, um, a few in Wisconsin. And so looking at it like that is it's exciting, but it does give you pause for a second. Like we have to make sure that our team is ready for it. So the best way
Mhm.
that we can even think of right now is to make sure that our BCBAs that we have, our new BCBAs, have a really solid training path. And so, uh,
Yeah.
I think, Dr. Jody just explained it so well last time, but making sure that we have a solid, that again, we're all on the same page for how a BCBA journey, BCBA candidate's journey to BCBA, how it goes at Caravel, and kind of what we want, yeah, what we want the experience to be like. So,
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people I've heard before, so I don't know if you've heard this before, Jen, right? Like some hesitancies of people entering into programs
oh,
to
absolutely.
become BCBAs is because I don't know what is in store for me. Are there
Yeah.
going to be enough positions available for BCBAs? The answer is yes.
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 You heard it here
And we
first. Yes.
yeah, you hear yes. The answer is yes. I think what people also might not be thinking of is as we expand access to care in different regions, different locations, additions, like you said, in already established regions, is that a clinic director there needs to be a clinic director.
Yep.
Typically, that is someone who's a lead BCBA, BCBA, not all of the time, but a lot of the
All the
time.
time. Hmm.
And so you're promoting from within to a clinic director, and now you need to backfill the role as a BCBA. And so there is some growth just from promotions when you're
Yep.
expanding access to care as well. And then just the sheer number of BCBAs that you need because we do want to be a company that really stresses the importance of support at each of the locations. And so you
Yep.
need more BCBAs. And
Yep.
so that is the reason our growth, but also just the sheer support that we want to be able to provide to each of our locations through the
Yep.
BCBAs.
Yeah, absolutely. Support manageable caseloads. I mean, the more BCBAs that we have, everything just becomes better
Mhm.
for our teams and our clients. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. What about your initiatives? What are you excited for in 2026?
Okay, so scheduling is something that we're really looking at as was announced, I don't know, a few weeks ago now. Schedule AI is some technology through Central Reach that is really going to support our scheduling specialists and just overall our clinic and organization and ensuring that we have schedules that make sense. We can have schedules that really support consistency for both the clients and for the teammates. And it gives kind of some breathing room for scheduling specialists to kind of look at the details versus just trying to solve this puzzle every day with like filling gaps. And I call it plug and play, right? Like just we need people in these spots. And so it's going to give us an opportunity to kind of look at the details to continue excelling and continue being a clear leader in the care that we deliver. And so that's something that we are looking at. And then the quality score. So for those of you that don't know, we do have quality measures for both clinical and for scheduling. And so revisiting that, what does that look like? And how does that associate with our outcomes? So that is something that we continue to work on. And it's all right, continuing to be innovative, and making sure, I think if there's one thing I would say, if like, I had to sum up one thing is just the quality of care that we're delivering, the quality of what we do for our teammates. Everything is the quality. And so in order to get to quality, you need to be able to look at the details. And so I think this is an important initiative.
Absolutely. And I was thinking too, a lot of discussions have been going on about scheduling AI. I think some are a little bit
Yeah.
nervous because, of course, learning
Yeah.
new technology. I mean, scheduling is a headache. We talk about it, Jess, you and I. Like, scheduling is hard with just a paper and pencil. Like, there is, an aspect of it's going to be a learning curve. I think in the beginning, we've done
Yeah.
some
Yep.
pilots, and at the
Yep.
end, we decided to go forward with this scheduling AI because the senior scheduling specialists involved, the scheduling specialists, all after the learning was done, it was like, yes, this is it.
Yep.
This is making my life easier. But we
Mhm.
want, we're definitely aware that everything is a learning curve when you
Yep.
experience change. But what I'm really excited for is I was thinking, when our scheduling specialists, especially as, when you and I were sitting in that regional position and had that, a closer relationship with our scheduling specialists at each location, I would hear that they were stressed about taking PTO. Like they were like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I have to prep so much about PTO," and
Mhm.
I think a lot of us, when we're going to be off, like it's like, "Oh gosh, I got to get this done. I got to get this done." But to hear that from a scheduling specialist, it's like, no, go enjoy your time. You've earned this. Like, go, go hang out with your family and go do your things. And don't worry, I don't want you to be concerned and working Sunday night before your PTO, trying to make sure that your schedules are updated. And so having something like scheduling AI that will save so much time in the end, I hope it's just a better quality of life for the scheduling specialists. And I'm really looking forward to, like, I
Yeah.
think you said it great, like just a little bit of breathing room would be awesome.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. We are in the midst of our rollout plan for that. So that's coming soon. So probably by the time that this is put out into the world, it'll be like the following week.
yeah.
um, so yeah, so we're well underway of the rollout plan. And the why is for good reason, right? We want people to your point, we know and we recognize that there's only one scheduling specialist at each location. And so when that one is gone, we don't want them to have to worry about these things or put additional responsibilities onto the clinic director or the senior scheduling specialist. The senior scheduling specialist is the one that typically will fill in. Um, but they were limited with how many locations they could fill in for. And now they will be able to fill in for more than just one. And so that alone will be impactful as well. So I'm really excited about it. I do think that, to your point, anytime there's a new system and it's foreign to you, you're gonna be at, a
Yeah,
little uneasy about it. But once we get through that learning curve, I think it's going to do great things for us here at Caravel.
I
So.
love it. Exciting.
The other one that we were talking about is just cross-functional impact to our teammates. And so um, really what that group was really focusing on is how can we do better for each other. It's not just at the clinic, it's how we interact with each other, how we can be supportive of one another for different departments. And that's just not the support departments for operations or the clinic. It's reciprocal, right? And so how do we work together better? How do we understand the processes and procedures that everyone is working within, all of those things? And so, as an example for facilities, right? So we were talking about facilities and what impacts our BTs, what impacts our clinical teams, just for how the facility is organized or how it's set up, all of those things. And so, really granular details that we're looking through as well to just really make improvements in for our teammates overall. So I think if there's one word that I would share for that, it's really just impact. So,
I love that. And I think, it's obviously we have a more high level view of it, Jess, that we know every department that goes into making sure that a client's day is running smoothly at the clinic, to making sure that our teammates have what they need. But I don't think everybody does. I mean, we have so many support departments, and I mean, you named a few,
yeah,
facilities, recruiting, billing, authorization, intake, scheduling,
intake. Yeah.
all of people services that encompasses a whole bunch too. And so, um, I
Yeah.
think there's just so many puzzle pieces when you're thinking about a teammate experience and a client experience. And it was nice to kind of just lay it out there and say, this is what we need from everyone. This is where everyone kind of needs to step in and support. This is what everybody can help with when we're asking for additional support. And it sounds like we have some really great ideas already kind of in the works
Hmm.
for 2026. So
Yeah.
excited for
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to turn it over now. Like I said, we got a special guest coming at the end. We do have a couple of, well, I guess a lot of videos from our regionals. We asked regional leaders to kind of film a short video about what they're excited for in 2026 within their own region. So we're going to flip to that. But first, a couple of PSA announcements
So
from
this
people
is
who,
kind of like our commercials,
yeah, commercial
right?
break.
So this is our commercials for or sponsors, right? Like whatever, like
Oh, I like
regular
that.
podcasts have
Sponsors.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sponsor today is People Services. And so we have some PSA from People
From people
Services.
services. Awesome. The first one is that we do have annual engagement survey coming up starting in December. I want to say we have a new I guess, vendor this year for that. It's Qualtrics, and so it might look a little bit different. I think a lot of the I think a lot of the clinic directors and regionals are probably excited in that it's going to be sent out via text message. I know that we loved that when it happened in the past. It was kind of sad when
Hmm.
that went away. Going to
Yep.
be able to be more mobile friendly, sent out via text message. And I think just hearing some of the questions, I think a lot more representative of what we want to find out from teammates. Don't you think?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I am excited about this, probably more than I should be. It's kind of where I nerd out a lot. It is one of those things where I want people to understand we do, Jen and I read through, and multiple people, but
Yeah,
Jen and I being present today, read through every comment, and look through all of the information that is provided. And so it is valued. And so I
absolutely.
think it's one of those things where now that we're changing the questions to be a little bit more directed towards what we want to know, I think that's going to be a huge improvement from previous times too. So just so everyone knows, we do read the comments. We do read through all of the, kind of outputs of those surveys. And so definitely am excited about the opportunity for more people's voices to be heard. I think
Yeah,
sometimes email isn't the best source for people, and it just seems like we're such a on the go people now that, having it in a mobile friendly format will
will be
be
great.
huge. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. All right, second one, QTPs are currently going on. If
Yep.
you are a supervisor, hopefully you've taken the training on Relias on the new QTP rating scale. For the rest of you, I think you can look forward to a more, again, more representative rating scale. We're really excited about this change as well. I think, as you put it, Jess, a square peg in a round hole. I think
Hmm.
with the 3 point rating scale, it was always like, okay, I guess you fit here. Now we have
Yeah.
a 5 point rating scale. And so for those teammates that aren't supervisors, don't be surprised when you go into your QTP and it looks a little bit different. I think
Yeah.
at the end, again, it's a change, but I think at the end of the discussion, they'll be like, yes, this makes a lot more sense. So that's
Hmm.
exciting. And
Yep.
then finally, Jess, you're going to talk about compliance training.
Yes. So compliance training, if people are new, you might not know this. If others maybe don't even recognize when these things take place, but I'm telling you here today, typically they happen in the fall. And and there was some advocacy around moving that. And it was moved to January and February. So that will be coming up early in 2026. And the reason for that is explaining the why here, is because we recognize and understand that winter months are very up and down, and you never know what to expect because if you're in areas where you get snow, I know not all of us are, but if you're in heavily hit inclement weather locations, that's always up in the air. You never really know what's going to be happening there. Client and teammate illness
Yes.
is also very variable as well. And so we really wanted to promote consistency as much as possible and consistency of hours
Yep.
and schedules for our teammates. And so this is a way that we're able to supplement some hours with compliance training if
Yep.
there's some down days or weeks
Yep.
for hours being provided. So that is the why behind that, and we're very excited for it. And it does proceed merit again. And
Mhm.
so just make sure you get through all of your compliance training so you can be merit eligible. But that is the reason that we moved it, and I'm very, very excited for that to see that huge positive impact as well for our teammates.
Excited to move it, maybe not excited to do it. I know the compliance training is always it's a
Yes, yes,
necessary evil. You have to do it. We want to be compliant. We want to know, the ins and outs of what we're supposed to be doing. And it's a headache, I think, for CDs to chase after people, make sure they're getting done. So
yes,
help your CDs
yes.
out and please complete it on time. But I think it's going to just land so much better in that time frame. So we're
Yeah,
excited for that.
yeah.
So. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break here and hear from our lovely regional leaders, and then come back with our special guest. So
Yeah,
here we
awesome.
go. Let's hear from the
Here we go.
regionals, what they are excited for in 2026.
Hi, Caravel. As we kick off 2026, I'm excited to share that big things are happening in the Northwoods. We're truly going to double down in 2026 and what makes us great. We're going to help bring all of our locations to model by continuing to grow great leaders, bringing our amazing culture into our communities, and growing our team with teammates who truly believe in our mission. We're committed to early intensive autism treatment. We want to bring that high quality care to the families that we serve. And we're going to support our teams doing that by really focusing on retaining our good, strong teammates. We're going to make sure that everyone has an individualized development plan that truly fits their long-term needs. We're excited for 2026 and what this is going to bring for us and for you. Let's go, Northwoods.
Hey everyone, my name is Carly and I support our Aurora Pines region. In 2026, I am most excited about growth. Growth has always been one of my favorite Caravel values. You can think about it not only in the number of teammates we have or the number of clients we serve, we also really want to focus on our teammates' growth and personal professional development. So one example of our regional growth that will happen in 2026 is that we will be opening a new location in Blaine, Minnesota. Super exciting to be able to expand access to care for families in that area, but then also this opens up opportunities for personal and professional growth for our teammates, especially those teammates that are in our BCBA Rise program. So just really excited, and I can't wait to see all of the amazing things our team is going to accomplish as we continue to live out our mission, vision, and values.
In 2026, Northern Lights, we are going to focus on a few things going forward. We're going to focus on, moving our locations to model that are not yet there, and really showing up consistently for those that are there or have, recently gotten to model. Continuing to grow in our clinical quality. We've made great gains this year, and we want to just make those markers of excellence more consistent in the year ahead. And the other piece is just really digging our roots into the communities we serve, making sure that we have brand awareness, but also that our reputation precedes us in the best of ways. And I think throughout all of it, one of the most important things we've talked about is ensuring that joy is a part of our process every step of the way. We were really moved by our speaker at leadership, and I think what we've taken from that is wanting to make sure that we're not envisioning joy to be on the other side of the achievements that we will have this year, but rather that we're injecting joy in all we do, and joy in bringing our mission to fruition. If we're gonna really lean into rigor, how do we do that with joy? How do we experience joy as we grow? And so that's gonna be our wonderful challenge for the year ahead.
I'm leaving the leadership conference feeling so inspired and eager to take everything we learned back to our teammates throughout Twin Rivers. From Sean's message of optimism and happiness to Dr. Adams' clinically inspiring push for better delivery of prescribed hours, and the really measurable difference we know that will make in the learning trajectory of our clients, to Mike's reminder that our vision, our plan, our goals remain the same, and it's on us to now perfect our craft. I loved having the opportunity to brainstorm and plan with my CDs and to put all that we heard and learned into action. I am just so excited to inspire our teams with the same message and push ourselves to deliver more, deliver better, and really continue living out our mission of changing lives for our clients and our teammates in big ways in 2026.
I'm really excited for 2026 so that my region can really lean into the growth of our teammates. We will get to move some really talented BCBAs and really talented teammates into more leadership roles for them to start their own clinics, to also lean into expanding really high quality access to kiddos that ultimately would not have that opportunity if Caravel wasn't there. I'm really excited to collaborate with the teams to help us get there and to help us reach our goals and to even further our footprint in being the provider and the employer of choice.
In the Goodland region, we are just so excited about the 2026 initiatives that are coming through. Super excited about BCBA Rise and the opportunity to really grow teammates across the region, across Caravel, looking not beyond the senior role and into getting BTs and RBTs in school. The scholarship program is a great opportunity, and for anyone who wants to learn more and have a little financial help along the way. Really also excited about getting clients in and providing them with the absolute best care, focusing in on that client intensity to ensure that we are ensuring best outcomes for our clients. Really excited about 2026 and all the things that are going on, both growth of clients and growth of our teammates. It's going to be an exciting year.
Here in Gateway, we are very excited to ring in the new year as a team. We have a lot to be thankful for and celebrate, as far as having 3 thriving and open locations that we are building to full capacity. We are spreading word in our community that Caravel is here, and we are ready to bring in teammates to continue to grow and build our culture with our mission, vision, and values, as well as really bringing that access to our families and clients that are looking for providers. We know that there is a lot of opportunity and options in our area, and we want to continue to strive with how we are unique and how we have teammates that really are top of mind, focusing on clinical care and excellence to really ensure that everyone is getting individualized care and our very best to change lives. So we are very thankful and excited to celebrate all of the things that we have accomplished thus far. We really look forward to the new year and all of the things on the horizon for our team, and continuing to grow and evolve as a group to continue onboarding great clients and teammates to support being at not only full capacity, but bringing that access to our community that is so needed, and continue to look for spaces and areas that we can bring more of that to in the Gateway region.
Maggie Joby here, Regional Director of Windy Cities. The Windy Cities is really looking forward to 2026 and continuing our excellence in all areas. We're especially looking forward to an increased focus on treatment intensity, as this is at the core of our beliefs and we already do it pretty well. So it's going to be awesome to have a shared focus on that area. We're also looking forward to trying some creative ways to help families come to Caravel and realize that we can provide excellent care. We're looking forward to some new leaders joining us and extending our mentorship, something that we're also really proud of, having good mentors in the Windy Cities, and this allows us to continue growing in our area. So lots of exciting things to come.
Hello, Caravel. My name is Mindy, and I am the Regional Director of Badgerland, and I'm so excited to share with you all what I am looking forward to in 2026. Badgerland is going to focus on a couple of different things in 2026, and I'm excited that one of those things is going to be client intensity. We are going to increase all of our clients' hours to ensure that they're getting the medically necessary treatment that each client needs in order to make optimal progress. We're also going to invest in our teammates by providing them with time and resources in order to achieve the career goals that they've set forth before them. I am so excited to see what 2026 brings for all of us, and I can't wait to see where we land.
As we head into 2026, it's exciting to turn our attention and our focus on increasing treatment intensity. This focus is going to allow us to continue to deepen that impact of care that we provide, ensuring that every client receives the full benefit of our services. By doing so, we're going to continue to uphold our commitment to quality and move forward in our mission of changing lives.
Absolutely. We're all excited for 2026, and you are all excited for our special guest. And that is Dr. Adam Haas, who is now our second guest on Real Talk with Jess and Jenn.
We need plaques. We can send everybody plaques.
Happy to be here. Dr. Adam Hawes, I'm your Chief Clinical Officer. Excited to be here with Jenn and Jess.
Awesome. All right, so Adam, we already kind of set the stage prior to our clips from the regionals that we wanted to talk about treatment intensity. And I think, so that's what we're going to do here today with you. However, first, why don't you do a little intro? How long have you been at Caravel? What led you here?
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Caravel. I've been here about 6 months now.
Okay.
My background is in behavior analysis. I've been in the field since almost 20 years and have had lots of courses through advocacy, through work in brain injury, addiction, um, as an academic. So I was a professor for a while and still am. Prior to this, I was with a large organization as their chief science officer, and now I'm kind of fortunate to be here at the helm of all things clinical for Caravel.
Awesome. And we're excited to have you, and we're excited to talk
Nice to be
about,
here.
yeah, about 2026. So Jess and I were explaining to the audience just some of the things that some of the initiatives, I'll say some of the initiatives that we're looking forward to bringing to everybody in 2026. And we thought that with treatment intensity, it's such I think, an important aspect of a client's treatment that we wanted to have you come on and kind of talk about the importance of it, what why we're going to focus on it, and what you kind of see the trajectory being for a
Sure.
client at Caravel. So, all right, I did explain it a little bit, but in your words, what is treatment intensity to you?
Well, there are a couple different ways to talk about it, but the way we like to talk about it at Caravel is how much service does an individual get, a client get who works with our BCBAs and RBTs. Generally, treatment intensity at Caravel is a composition of one-on-one time, of how much family treatment guidance, and how much overlap or consultation protocol modification our clients get. I even like to break it down a bit further to talk exclusively about how much one-on-one time our clients get. And I do so because I think that's really where the rubber hits the road in terms of progress. One of the reasons treatment intensity is so critical is because we don't have a ton of time with the clients we serve. We are very much interested and invested in what's called early intensive behavioral intervention, EIBI as an acronym. And what that means is we're getting clients in very early so that we can shape and mold their repertoires as learners so that they can then take those skills into least restrictive environments, be it school, be it back to home. But we want to effectually decrease the number of hours that they would have post Caravel. But it's really important that our treatment intensity is high while they're with us. Okay. That translates to more learning opportunities across diverse environments, so that we can better approximate what's going to happen once they leave our care.
Do you envision, well, and for those of you that don't know, obviously a lot of our clinicians know about our clinical quality score,
Sure.
and the importance of it. But, for those of you that don't, if any RBTs don't know, but we do have a clinical quality score. It's over a number of clinical components, one of them being learning opportunities, like Adam just mentioned. Do you envision that a higher treatment intensity impacts your clinical quality score?
It does. Let's just take an example across a year's worth of time. And if I have, let's say, 25 hours of treatment intensity that's comprised of those three things I mentioned, one-on-one time, family treatment guidance, and protocol modification, we can generally think about there being about 18 to 19 of that 25 hours that's dedicated to one-on-one time. If we average 60 learning opportunities per hour, and now we take that and we extend it across a year, we get a pretty healthy number of learning opportunities.
Yeah.
The bigger question is what happens if that 25 turns to 26, 27, 28, 29, or 30? What does that do to the learning opportunities? And now it becomes not this additive, but an exponential increase in the number of opportunities a kid has to learn.
Mm.
And I would ask, like, you as an RBT or a BCBA, what would you do with, say, 10,000 more learning opportunities for a client you get to work with over the course of a year? And let me take that even further. What would you do with those learning opportunities if we now had 2 years worth of time between what we currently average, about 25 hours, and if it were 30, what happens to the sheer volume of learning opportunities across those 24 months. We get tens of thousands of more learning opportunities that only give our learners and our clients the opportunity to get better, to learn faster, and to make it more probable that they're successful in least restrictive environments.
So higher treatment intensity sounds good for everybody. We're all
It, it,
benefiting from
it
it.
is, especially with really high quality. And that's another thing that will be enveloped into more hours, but not just more hours with really high quality is what we want to be about at Caravel.
Yeah, absolutely. So I heard you throw out a few numbers for treatment intensity. What do we
Sure.
see Caravel working towards in 2026?
So right now, I believe our average is somewhere hovering around 25 hours. I envision a world where pretty aggressively we look to get to 28, 29, 30 total hours of that composition. Why? Because we know we have things that get in the way or that happen, right? We have transportation issues, we have cancellations from both families and our teammates.
Yep.
Things happen, life happens. But to account for that and do what we're saying is medically necessary, we do need to move that expectation up. And I'd love to see us in a space where on model is now north of 28 hours total,
Yeah.
so that we can give those clients the opportunity to learn faster with great quality and start to diversify their experiences holistically.
And so, Adam, you had said 25 before that was comprised of those three, and how we want to actually break it down to one-to-one hours. And
Right,
so that's even more of an impact than we have now, because you were saying, right, like 18, 19 is maybe where we're landing now.
right.
And we want to end up north of 28 for one-to-one services. So that's a huge difference
It
in
is.
what we're aspiring to be versus where we're currently at.
It is. One thing I would also mention is that it's not less emphasis on family treatment guidance or protocol
Mm-hmm.
modification. We're not going to budge on our expectations of quality within those.
Mm-hmm.
What we are going to do is kind of ramp the expectation of those one-on-one specific hours, because that's where we know um, that one-on-one time is so critical for overall gains. And there have been, several research studies that support higher dosages or higher treatment intensity warrants and garners long-term outcomes for our clients. And so, um, because we are a data-driven and empirically driven science, we're going to lean into that data. We're going to lean into that data and try to aspire to be right in lockstep with it.
Awesome. So I heard you already say a few barriers to hitting our treatment intensity goal.
Mhm.
If we can dig into those a little bit, I I'm thinking, I heard uh essentially authorizations, what we're prescribing, what we're, requesting from the funders to authorize. What do we see for training? I just, picture BCBA, you got a lot going on, right? I mean, you're meeting with families in initial baseline appointments, in, your first few weeks of treatment, you're programming with all of your current, you're doing RBT supervision. You have a lot going on, and I think sometimes it can get kind of lost what how we're recommending and how we're speaking about treatment to families. So
Sure.
what do you see for training in that?
Well, we're using terminology like medically necessary,
Yeah.
and I kind of liken it to an individual who has diabetes. If they
Hmm.
don't take their insulin shots on a prescribed basis,
Absolutely.
they're going to have some challenges as a function of that. And I would
Hmm.
argue that the science of applied behavior analysis and the implementation of it is lockstep with that same analogy. If we say that a child needs 30 to 40 hours of intensive ABA, and we're only providing, say, 20 to 25 of that,
Hmm.
we're missing doses
Yeah.
of ABA that should otherwise be provided. So there's some integrity and diligence around we're going to prescribe what's medically necessary, and we're going to do what we can to work with the family to ensure that we're hitting those hours.
Yeah.
Some of that happens through schedule integrity, and we're going to make some adjustments around what a good schedule looks like and how many we have, reducing the number of tributaries that we have in the space. But that is going to be accompanied with reorienting our clinicians to what on model looks like and holding people accountable to those expectations because we are the people who are saying medically necessary. And we believe in our science, we believe in the practice, and we believe in the quality of the provision of our science. So let's do what's right by the clients and families by saying how important it is, but also doing it. Walk the walk and kind of do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah. And I think the same can be said at the end of treatment, right? So you're talking about medically necessary in the beginning. We make the progress that we want to make. We hit those, clinical quality numbers that we want. What about discharging? What do you see being training for discharge, making discharge recommendations, I guess, to families?
When I was a practicing behavior analyst, I always like to start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get to the space where that family and the client is ready? There may be some questions about comfort level with ready to discharge, and those are navigable as well.
Yep.
You work with the families to support that. But when their skills are ready to transition out and into a least restrictive environment, I like to think about how am I going to get there when I first meet with the family.
Yeah.
Discharge requires proper transition planning and maintenance skills programming. Let's say, for example, you get 2 years of time with a client at Caravel. That effectually generally gives you 4 plans of care. Okay. So what that would then suggest is that during your last plan of care, your last 6 months, you should have well articulated plans for that person to discharge out of Caravel services with success into a least restrictive environment. So we only get a fraction of time with those individuals, which really puts a spotlight on how important it is for high intensity, high quality, and really thoughtful planning about what's going to happen in the last plan of care that these families are with us.
Yeah. What better way to make a family more comfortable with discharging and with what comes next than to show them a ton of progress
That's
in your
right.
first 18 months of treatment. I love
That's
that.
right.
Jess, I'm going to throw something over to you now, a question, because I heard Adam also talk about things that get in the way of, I think, those daily variables of hitting that treatment intensity. And I heard cancellations. And I know that that was a big topic in 2025. And you and I spent a lot of time discussing cancellations and trying to brainstorm because it is, it's just such I think a heavy topic because we work in a field with children. So there's illnesses that are rampant all over the place. People do get sick. We also want, we want our teammates to enjoy PTO and enjoy, like we talked about with scheduling specialists and having that time and that break is really important for your work-life harmony. But cancellations can really cause headaches in the centers, right? Not in our kids are impacted, especially if we're saying, okay, we're going to we're going to do intensive treatment in a couple of years. You're working with this much time, and cancellations, as they stand today, are really a big barrier to reaching those treatment intensity hours. So what are we thinking for scheduling AI? Are we optimistic about, helping some of those cancellations at least and being able to, and to kind of work around some of them?
So I think Schedule AI can only do so much, right? It can more quickly evaluate who is next on deck to be able to stand in for someone. It's not going to be able to bring someone to work,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so I think being able to identify those situations more quickly will be impactful. But it's not going to solve all of our issues with cancellations, right? And so I think a stressor for everyone is those situations where you don't have enough people to serve that client. And so I think in 2026, what we really want to do is get to a situation where we are overstaffed, right? And can account for some of that. And you have more people that can step in. But I think one of the things that even if you do that, a consideration we must look at is that does are the people that are there, have they been trained with that client? Do they know this client, right? And no one knows the client better than their care team, right? And so I think it is really important that we look at this holistically and understand we all play a part in this, and being able to get to that intensity. And what the importance is, why do we feel like this is important for them? And Adam, you explained that perfectly, why it's important. We have them for a short period of time. We want to make all of the gains that we can while we have them. And so we just need to be planful. I think that, again, Schedule AI will be able to show us where our gaps are quicker. But we need to be planful of who's going to be out when, so we can support the clients the best that we can.
Yeah. And so what I'm hearing is that scheduling AI might help a little bit with the day-to-day tweaks in there, but makeup hours are still going to be a big focus this winter. And so when we have illness, when we have, weather-related cancellations and things like that, I think it's really important to remember that we do have those Saturday sessions, and some clinics have multiple Saturday sessions a month. And so really continuing to lean into those to make sure that we're hitting our treatment intensity goals that we want for each of our clients.
Yeah. And I think one of the things to really focus on with makeup sessions, and someone called it something different the other day, and I can't remember what it was, but it felt better. And it's like, I can't remember what it was. Now I'll have to go
Now
and
you
look
have
it
to
up
remember.
and
I want to
message
hear
everyone what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it felt better than just makeup. It's just ensuring that we're delivering the treatment that Adam said, like we're delivering the treatment that we say is important to deliver. And so, how do we do that? Well, if something comes up, we have this, again, going back to the plan. This is planned. These Saturdays are planned because we anticipate that illness is going to occur, that inclement weather is going to happen, and how can we deliver the treatment to these clients despite that. So.
All right. Well, I think that was the bulk of treatment intensity. Anything else, Adam, that you can think of? Any final points? Anything you want the team to hear?
I think the last thing I would leave everyone with is just if we're in the space of helping individuals and we know we have a specific like key almost, um, we would do well to use that key to help a family if we knew it would. And I don't know any providers, clinical or otherwise, at Caravel who would say, "Nah, I'm not going to use that key." We know the key is treatment intensity, so let's use it. Okay. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, for joining us.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in.
All right.